Hey party people, this is Jeremy from Jumbo Live Plays Games. We are still here at the KOSMOS booth, PAX 2018. Now we are talking about Drop It. Let's go ahead and get a quick overview.
Sure. So in Drop It, we're doing just that. We're dropping these different shapes.
No way.
Down into this. So now we're set up for a two-player game here.
Okay.
So what we have in a two-player game, you're going to split based on color. So everybody's going to get the same shapes. You're going to get 2 triangles, 2 rhombuses or diamonds, 2 squares, and 3 circles.
Okay.
We have the victory point track over here. There's a cube in each of the colors. In the, like I said, in the 2-player game that we have set up here, you're going to be scoring individually for the 2 colors that you own, and then you'll add those 2 scores together at the end for your final score.
Okay.
We also have these modifier chips, so if you make it around the board once, you take the 25,
25. Okay.
magically get around for a second time, you'll grab that, flip that over to the 50.
Okay.
Now, here we have set up the drop zone. Now you'll see that there are these slots on the side. Here we have the different colors, but they also come in the options of having shape.
Yeah.
So what these are going to be are restrictions. So the bottom also has that, but on the opposite side of it is that other setting for the shapes. Now, when you drop a shape, you want to line it up on where you want to go.
Don't mess it up.
And then you're going to drop. Now, you're going to score based on the highest point of the shape that you dropped.
Okay.
If I had dropped this diamond and it was over in this location here, now it's touching both this yellow on the side as well as the bottom.
Right.
So that is not allowed.
Right.
Now it's only if it's touching the wall or the ground. If I then drop later on this piece here, even though it's in the same column, it still counts. It just can't touch the location where it's in.
Okay.
Now, like I said, on the other side, it's by shape. So in this case, I still wouldn't score anything because I'm touching this location here. And you can actually play with a variation where you have color at the bottom, but shapes on the sides.
Yeah.
You really could change around your game.
Okay.
Now, you'll alternate turns, dropping 1 shape at a time.
Yes.
Now, here's where it really, really gets crazy. The same color could never touch each other. So if I drop my yellow circle and it happens to touch, that's no points.
Oh, okay.
You also can't have the same shapes touching each other. So if player 2 were to drop this diamond, and they're touching, that's also no points because the same shape could never touch each other. So shapes and color of the same type can never touch each other. Now you'll also notice that there are these shaded areas here. Some are very tiny, medium sized, and these very large ones. If your shape is anywhere inside of one of those, you'll gain an extra amount of victory points.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, this square here is in the zone 2, so it'll score 2 points, but it's also within this medium circle, which will get it an additional 2 points.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
The very
I see
smallest circle
there. Yeah,
yes.
Okay. Now I see. I was like, wait, what?
Yes, and we have the values printed in it.
Okay.
So you don't even have to refer back to the rule book to remember what victory points you get for being in those circles.
Oh, wow.
So like I said, the medium one will get you 2 points. This very teeny tiny one will get you 3.
Yep.
And the large ones get you 1 additional point.
Wow.
So players will be alternating back and forth. When you get towards the end, may end up dropping it and part of your shape will be sticking out of the drop zone.
Okay.
That also won't score any points. Okay. All shapes need to fully be inside of the drop zone at the end of the game. Now, what's really, really amazing with this game is once you get many turns in, and I don't know if I'm really going to be able to do justice to this, but you may end up with a position where you'll drop something and it'll look like it's touching. 2 colors will be touching or 2 shapes will be very, very close to touching. But if you put, so like here, you see how like this diamond and this square really aren't touching?
Okay.
Now, I've had times where they were ever so much closer to the point where if you put a white sheet of paper behind it and take a picture with a cell phone and zoom in, you'll see that there's actually a couple millimeters in between the shapes. So it really, really becomes amazing as people are dropping because you'll forget, you know, you're trying to look at the restrictions on the sides
Yeah.
and the restrictions to shape, but then you might, okay, I'm good, there's no shapes there, and you might land on your own, but here, I knocked my own out of the way, so now I'd still be able to score points for this, but look how it's teetering.
Yeah, it's teetering.
So it's really
So when
crazy.
it
You get some really, really odd situations.
This is really
These
yeah.
pieces don't always drop the way
Right.
you expect.
Yeah, this is really man. It's just totally different than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really fun game, family game, game night game. It's got range to it. Do these have different setups to them, or like different point scoring types?
So what they do is you'll have to match up the letters to here.
Okay.
So here we have C and D. So you'll want to make sure that the C side is here. So now on this side the B's are matching. So if you're going to do any of the changes, you just want to make sure that the letters are matching.
Okay.
And what that'll end up doing is just making sure that the areas in here are going to be in the right locations.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us a really good overview of this one here. Drop It, which I am so excited I got a chance to see it. It's really interesting. Where can we find this? This is already released. This was released earlier this year.
This did release earlier this year.
All right.
It is available. This is the second print run, which actually has those points that are in there, which is just amazing. So yeah, this is available.
Okay.
We sold out of it at Gen Con.
Right.
I think on day 2 or 3, it's always a very, very hot item. As soon as people see it, it has table presence. It's simple to learn and get into, and it's family friendly and very fun. Kids love it.
Yeah.
And even gamers like myself. I play mostly very complex games, but I can't tell you how many times we play Drop It at home just because it's super fun and it's just as competitive and strategic as any other game.
First rule of every game is to have fun, man.
Exactly.
All right, so that's Drop It from Cosmos Games. Thank you so much for your time, party people. We are done at Cosmos, but man, we had some good coverage today. Stay tuned for Jambalaya Plays Games and PAX Unplugged 2018. Way!